right, everybody. Hi there, and welcome for Global Hack Week. If you're out there in the chat on Twitch, on YouTube, please give us a call there. We have from Claw for Life. Hi, Claw for Life. Good to see you here. It's my pleasure to be hacking with all of you and to be joined by Aishika, our junior developer advocate from DigitalOcean and our partner here. Aishika is actually a former member of the MLH team. So we are welcoming back one of our family, MLH family here. So everybody give a warm digital welcome to Aishika.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Stephen, for the warm welcome. And of course, I'm super excited to be back here. So I guess we can give folks some time to let us know where they're tuning in from. I'm joining from Hyderabad in India. So would love to see those messages coming in.
Yeah. I'm joining from Los Angeles, California. So I think we are just one ocean away. Not so bad.
Right.
Um, yeah, if anybody would love to share, I love to see that too. I love to see where is our global community. Um, Aishika, how are you enjoying? I said you mentioned that there is some kind of festival taking place
Right.
in your town. Were you able to enjoy any of the festivities, or were you mostly working?
I wouldn't say that I've mostly been working. I have been unwell for the past couple of days, but yeah, we are celebrating a lot of festivals here in India. So throughout different parts of the country, there are different variations to the same festival. We are celebrating, a lot of different gods. The homecoming of a lot of different gods and goddesses here in India. The one that I celebrate, we are celebrating the homecoming of Goddess Durga. So if you want to, give it a read, please do so. Happy to uh, talk about it too, if the need be. But yeah, I see we've got people from Miami, Florida, and Montpellier, Vermont. That's absolutely lovely. I see someone from Andhra Pradesh, India. I'm in Telangana at the moment, so we're just one state away.
That's great. It really shows just how global our community is. And
Absolutely.
all right, so Aishika, I think I will let you take it away from here because it is already 8:03 over here, a few minutes past the stream time, and I want you to be able to get through your materials. So I will go
Yes,
ahead
sir.
and sign off and have you take it away. But everyone, Aishika.
Thank you so much, everyone. So, I'm Aishika, and today I'm going to be talking about deploying your first site on DigitalOcean app platform. And a quick introduction of me. Professionally, I'm a junior developer advocate at DigitalOcean, and I absolutely love holding stray cats. I love pestering stray cats too. And why that's relevant today, we are also going to be building a tiny website that we are going to deploy on DigitalOcean's app platform. And it's basically going to be a tiny cat directory. So without any further ado, let me dive into what we are going to cover today. First, we'll do a quick introduction of DigitalOcean. Then we are going to dive deeper into what app platform is all about. Then we are going to start building a static website built with simply HTML and CSS, no JavaScript, no fancy stuff. We are going to be entertaining some pull requests from you folks in the audience, and then we are going to be deploying that website on DigitalOcean's app platform. Then we are going to talk about a couple of next steps, and I will reserve the last 15 to 20 minutes to answer any questions you may have around app platform, anything infrastructure related, and also any questions that you may have about Hacktoberfest. And another quick thing that I forgot to mention earlier, I'm also on the core team behind Hacktoberfest. I've been on the team for the past 3 years. So any questions that you may have around Hacktoberfest, I'm more than happy to cover them too. So let's talk about what DigitalOcean is all about. As you may know, DigitalOcean is a cloud service provider. It's aimed at simplifying the experience that you have on cloud. So students, entrepreneurs, startup founders, and members of startups and different SMBs. By SMBs, I mean small businesses. They come together, they build amazing apps that have the potential of changing the world, and then they deploy it on DishLotion. So, in short, DishLotion is just a simpler cloud that makes a lot of devs happy and gets you amazing results. Now, jumping on to DishLotion's app platform, it's basically cloud democratized, made simpler, more accessible. It's just the elite platform as a service. So let me quickly jump into more about that. So when we talk about app platform, as I mentioned previously, it's a platform as a service. It makes it really simple and fast to build and deploy, and also scale your applications in absolutely no time. And yeah, you can just publish code directly to DishLotion servers without worrying about any underlying infrastructure as such. It's a fully managed solution, so you can build apps and not have to put a lot of effort into understanding the underlying infrastructure. So when we talk about building and deploying apps, it does take a lot of expertise, a lot of infrastructure expertise. So you build an app and then you have to focus on all sorts of things, where to deploy, how to deploy, the CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous deployment. We are cutting all of that short with app platform. So again, managing infrastructure is a lot of work. It's not a core competency. If we especially talk about beginner developers who are just getting started with stuff, they want to have their websites up and running on the internet. They want to flaunt their websites. It does not have to be a core competency for them to understand infrastructure. It is a means to an end, and a lot of people don't want to spend their valuable time trying to figure out how to get things out there. They want to focus on building them from the ground up. So I do see a question here in the chat. Is it free? And you'd love to know that the first 3 apps that you deploy on app platform are absolutely free. So you don't have to pay a dime. It's absolutely free, of course, the first 3 starter applications that you deploy on app platform. And on top of that, if you do take a look at all the resources that we have shared as part of Global Hack Week, you also get $200 worth of free credits for 60 days. You don't have to use any of those credits to use app platform actually. And when you scale up, it's dirt cheap. So coming back to it, app platform basically is a combination of everything that you'd want. It's the best of both worlds. You build your stuff, and then the infrastructure is managed by app platform. So when we talk about app platforms infrastructure, you basically just manage the app components that your application requires, and not the infrastructure. So you can get your static sites, services, background workers, jobs, manage databases, all of those up as part of components, and you don't have to figure out any of the infrastructure. So I do see another question here. It's service, right, or platform itself? It is a platform as a service, so consider it best of both. That's the best way I can describe it. It is a service offered as a platform. So moving on, all of the all of the stuff that we talked about earlier, it's all connected directly to your code base. So you can, with a couple of clicks, you can just deploy any GitHub repository of your liking with the supported languages that we have, and get your applications or static sites on DishLotion's app platform. So which languages are important for making an app? You can take a look at app platform's official web page. Give me just 1 second. I'll just drop the link to it. App platform, DishLotion, supported languages. You can just take a look at all the supported languages, HTML, CSS, all of the static stuff is inbuilt with the build packs, and Python is also covered as part of it. Give me just a moment. Let me get you the link to it. In the meantime, keep any questions coming in. I'm more than happy to take them up, answer them. Our platform languages. Or you know what, I can just drop it in a while. I don't want to take up more time trying to find the list of languages which I should have had ready. Availability. Yep, this should be the URL, and I'm going to pass it on to Stefan, and we can have it drop. Okay. So, V naught plus Claude, then deploy on Vercel. It is more worthy than this, or just my assumption. I'm going to leave it to you, but if you're an absolute beginner and you don't want to take the headache of figuring out the infrastructure end of things, I think App Platform might be the right fit for you. So, how is it different from any other platform as a service offerings? Guess we'll find out as we move forward with the demo. Okay. So, coming back to the slides, what can you build with App Platform? As I mentioned before, you can get web apps, static sites, and services and APIs up and running with App Platform in absolutely no time, and we are going to take a look at that as well. And it's a fully managed solutions, which I think, Anish, this section might answer your question. You can build, manage, and scale apps super quick. We manage the servers, and we take care of the operating systems, runtimes, and any other dependencies that your application may have. You get to focus on your app's business and not the underlying infrastructure. So once again, scale apps, not cost. Since App Platform runs on DigitalOcean natively, costs are relatively really low even when you scale it. So quickly scale it up or down, as your need be, as your requirements be, and it's all going to be supported within DigitalOcean itself. Apps remain available when you scale and deploy new changes. So this is where we cover the continuous integration and continuous deployment part of the deployment of our applications. Now, without any further ado, I guess we are ready to dive into a live demo for App Platform. And before that, I guess I can answer a couple of questions here. I see one. How can I submit my project for Hacktoberfest? So I'm assuming that you're a maintainer and you want to participate in Hacktoberfest as a maintainer. What you would want to do is you need to add a topic label to your repository called Hacktoberfest, and make sure you give the documentation, the participation guidelines a thorough read, and that should be it. That's how you can submit your project for Hacktoberfest. And it's not basically submitting your project, you're just participating as a maintainer for Hacktoberfest, and we would love to see your repository up there. uh Somebody dropped the link. App Academy, best programming languages for app development. No, this is not the one. I'm going to take a little more time and drop it for you folks. As a complete beginner, how can I start, as I have never contributed to open source? It's absolutely fine whether you're a beginner developer or a veteran contributor. There's always space for you at Hacktoberfest. And if you want to start contributing, one of the best resources that I can recommend for you would be Good First Issues. And let me find the link to that as well. So you can also Google Good First Issue. The URL is goodfirstissue.dev. For whatever languages you're comfortable with, whatever frameworks you're comfortable with, you can just head over to this website. You can enter whatever frameworks you want to contribute to, and any issues that are tagged with good first issue, you can just take a look at it and you can make your submissions to it. So that's the best way you can get started. That's how I got started with Hacktoberfest and how I made contributions to open source in my early days. So you can always give that a go. So do we have any other questions in the meantime? If not, I can jump on to the next screen wherein we build a website from scratch and deploy it onto DigitalOcean App Platform. So going once, going twice, sold. Now we would want the other screen up. So Stefan, can you help me up with sharing my other screen?
Yeah, absolutely. So all you need to do is click on the stage at the bottom to add a new screen. So I've just
Yep.
added the GitHub screen here.
Yep.
Um, yeah, let me know if you have any other questions.
All good. No other questions right now. I do see one question in the chat, which is I've not created a repo. I have any idea class trick app to transcend the mass opinion of students to teacher for their classes. So I'm assuming this should read, I have created a repo, class pick, an app to transcend the mass opinion of students to teachers for their classes. If you want to get contributions to it as a part of Hacktoberfest, again, please feel free to do so. No worries at all. So now I guess we can get started with building out our static application. So all I'm going to do is head over to GitHub. I'm going to create a new repository and select an organization. No, I don't want to select any other organization. I want to choose the owner as me, and we're going to name it Global Hack Week Demo. I'm guessing this is already taken because we ran a similar workshop last year. So I'm going to name it Global Hack Week Demo 2024. The description is going to be lovely Global Hack Week Demo 2024. This is going to be a public repository. I don't want to add a README file as such, or maybe we can just add one. And now we are going to click on create repository. And now that I've got my repository up and running over here, I'm going to go back to the questions. We don't see any. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new file. I'm not using VS Code or anything fancy over here. I'm just going to build a file within github.com itself. So create a new file. I'm going to name it index.html. If you're building out any static websites using HTML, make sure that you name the page that you want to load first on your domain as index.html, because that is what is identified by most of the deployment platforms out there. So this is an HTML file. I'm just going to write HTML. This is going to be super basic. In the head section, I'm just going to add the title as cat directory. And in the meantime, if any of you have any suggestions, please drop them in the chat, any code snippets, and I'm just going to copy them and paste them on this website that we have. Or you can always, make a pull request and add these changes. Now I'm going to add the body of our page. I am going to add one heading. This is going to be called cat directory because I absolutely love cats. The second heading can be add your contributions by making a pull request to. This is going to be our URL. Just a moment. Href. And did I mess up? No, I didn't. Okay. Add your contributions by making a pull request to. This is the URL. Gonna add a full stop here. And I guess that should be it for now. I don't want to add a lot of stuff. I actually want to have a lot of contributions from you folks. So create index.html, commit directly to the main branch, and that should be it. Link CSS file also. Okay. We can do that, or we can just have some inline CSS. At the moment, I just want to keep it very basic because I want to get more contributions from you folks. And when you say contribute, what does it mean? Everything seems so advanced level. Okay, I'll try my level best to simplify this for you. When I say contribute, so this is the repository that I've created that I'm a maintainer of at the moment. And when I say I'm on the lookout for contributions, I actually want you to add maybe say cat memes or cat images, just create a directory of cats for me. Now, how can you, add your contributions to to this repository. You basically create a pull request, and that's how you make a contribution to this repository. Another way of making contributions in open source is by opening issues, and I'm actually happy to give you a run through that as well. So this is the URL that I have over here. Let me have my friends at MLH drop it in the chat section as well. So this is the URL that we've got. It's simply github.com/ishikasb, which is my username on GitHub, followed by ghw-demo-2024. So if, say, for example, you want to create a new issue, you want to make a contribution by highlighting something that's wrong with the repository, you can just click on this tab over here which says new issue. And over here, I'm going to write something on the lines of not enough cat images. This is just the title, and then I can also add a description stating there are no cat images in the cat directory. Weird. So when I submit a new issue, that's how I've contributed to this repository by creating an issue. But for Hacktoberfest, when you're talking about contributions, making contributions towards participation or completion of Hacktoberfest, you actually need to create pull requests. So we are going to be looking into that as well. So up till now, do we have any other questions that I may answer? Any questions, any concerns that you folks may have? Going once, going twice, sold. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is, I don't have any other GitHub account right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to create another branch. I'm going to call it cat. And what this is going to do is this is going to create a branch cat from main. When we talk about branching in GitHub, it's one of the core, Git capabilities that, you can work on segregations of, the main segment of code. So you don't end up breaking things that are on deployment, that are on production, and you can create a completely segregated, completely isolated branch of sorts to work on, to run your experiments on without affecting the main code base. So yeah, that's what we are going to do. I'm going to create a branch called cat from main. So as you can see, I'm on the new branch that I've created, and I'm going to click on index.html. I'm just going to try to edit this, and I'm going to say maybe please add images. I'm just going to commit these changes to the cat branch. And when I go back to this repository, I should actually get a pop-up here which says cat had recent pushes 6 seconds ago. And I now have the option to compare and open a pull request. So this is how you can create a pull request within the repository, by using just a different branch. This is also how you should create pull requests if you're added as one of the contributors to a repository. If not, the other option that you have is just create a fork. And as I can see, someone has created a fork already. So how you would want to make contributions to this repository is by creating a fork and then making changes onto your fork. And then when you come back to this repository, you will also have the option to compare and create a pull request. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I'm at the moment trying to push contributions from the branch cat to the branch main. So as you can see, these are able to merge. The branches can also be, these branches can also be automatically merged. I don't want to automatically merge them. I'm just going to add this title. I'm just going to click on create pull request. So as the owner of this repository, I am going to have the option to merge the pull request, but you might not have it on your end. And that's absolutely fine. You can just create new pull requests. I would say just add images of cats, and that would make me very happy. So that's basically how you're going to create pull requests. Now, this is all about GitHub and how you can create pull requests on GitHub. Now, how do we actually get this website up and running on DigitalOcean? Now, before I cover that, once again, I would actually want to go back to the questions. Why do open source projects use templates for raising issues? So the basic idea of using templates is, making it easy for maintainers to get the information that they need. So when I go back onto, this repository, when I click on create new issue, there's honestly nothing here. I can just add whatever I want to. I can just add a title. I can choose to not add a description at all. And it would not be helpful for a maintainer, right? A maintainer who's trying to, get specific info about, any bugs that they may have. So, when we talk about larger code bases, like say, for example, React, when you click on new issue, it asks for a lot of details, like, how do you reproduce this error? How did you run into this error? And any recommendations that you may have. So having issue templates and having pull request templates is actually very helpful because maintainers get the opportunity to, get the information that they need. Okay, so I've got two more questions. So any repo participating in Hacktoberfest just create pull request on branch, and if they find a contribution, if it's useful, they'll merge. Yes and no. So you don't just create pull request on branch, you can create a fork and then make a pull request as well, and that should work just as fine. And if they find the contribution useful, of course they'll merge it. If not, but if they find that your solution is good enough, to count towards the participation of Hacktoberfest, they can also add a tiny label which says Hacktoberfest accepted. So even if your pull request is not merged into the code base, if it gets the Hacktoberfest accepted label, is counted as a successful contribution towards the completion of Hacktoberfest. So that's also absolutely fine. But make sure that you add meaningful contributions and you don't end up making any spammy pull requests. So that's also equally helpful, equally important, I would say. Make sure you head over to hacktoberfest.com/participation and take a look at all the contribution guidelines that our team has laid down, and that would help you get started with Hacktoberfest and making contributions to Hacktoberfest. So one question I see here is, can you explain with a larger code base? I can try to. I mean, if I head over to, say, for example, React, yeah, Facebook, React, let's head over to issues. And if I click on new issue, I should be greeted by, yeah, we've got a lot of issue templates over here. I am going to click on bug report because suddenly I found a bug with React. So what do we see here? As you can see, if I just click on preview, I think that's going to be so much easier. So here it's asking for what version of React are you working with? What are the steps to reproduce this bug that you're reporting? And then you also get the option to talk about what the current behavior is and what the expected behavior should look like. So these are the fields, the things that would help the maintainer understand what's going wrong and then make amends. So if say for example I just added bug, I am not able to run npm go. Npm go isn't a command, it's my fault. It isn't a command, and I don't give any description at all. The maintainer is not going to understand what kind of an issue I'm running into and how to help me out. So it's going to be absolutely useless to open this issue, right? So if I was more descriptive, and even if I'm making an error, maybe a maintainer or a contributor or someone who just knows how to use React might just come in and say, hey, npm go is not a command that you use with React. It won't work. And that would be it. That's how you, yeah, that's why issue templates are useful. And can you explain with just did that, how to add code to pull request comment? How to add code in the sense, hold on, give me just a moment. Markdown, syntax. Okay, so here's another URL for you folks. If you want to add code snippets in pull request comments, This is a URL, that would help you understand Markdown in greater detail. Usually, you just use backticks. If I head over to this thing, if I head over to my own this thing, okay. So if I just use backticks and say bash, and in here I write mkdir whatever, and then close it. Yeah, that's how you add code snippets. And by adding the language, you're basically just making interpretation easier. So that's how you add code snippets in comments of pull request, in the comments of pull request. I hope that answered your question. If not, I'm happy to know more details and help you out. So another question we have is, do you know any tools which can help me create beautiful repo to present as open source project? There are a lot of resources out there that you can use. You can also take reference from other popular repositories out there. I don't think they're going to mind as long as you read their licenses. But maybe take a look at popular repositories such as, of course, React, Laravel, whatever you'd like, and then create your own iteration out of what you see. Okay, so thank you so much. It's clear now. I'm glad I could help you with that. Okay, got it. So any other questions that you folks may have, please don't hesitate to ask. Just put them in the chat. It can be anything around Hacktoberfest. It can be anything around DigitalOcean app platform. And I guess now we can just get started with deploying our website on app platform. So give me just a moment. I'm going to log into my DigitalOcean account. And you should be able to see my screen now. So what I'm doing here is, this is my DigitalOcean control panel, and I now want to get my website up and running. As you can see, this is a demo that we created last year for last year's Global Hack Week. So what I'm going to do is I am simply going to head over. I'm going to click on this create button, or you can always also click on the manage uh, tab over here towards your left hand side, and you can find app platform right here. I'm just going to use the green button because it's more lucrative to me for some reason. So I'm going to click on app platform, and this is the screen that I'll be greeted with. You can create resource from source code from any of these service providers. So if, say, for example, you're building out images, you can use DigitalOcean's container registry, you can use Docker Hub, you can use GitHub container registry, anything of your liking. Apart from that, if you're just trying out DigitalOcean app platform, we've also got a lot of sample applications that you can choose to deploy and just see how things work. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just use GitHub as my service provider, because that's where I'm hosting my code base at the moment. Since I've already, registered my GitHub account onto DigitalOcean, I don't have the, pop-up which asks me to connect my GitHub account. You might have that if you're trying it out for the first time. So over here, I can just select my repository. I'm just going to say Global Hack Week Demo 2024. That is the repository that I want to deploy. Now again, you have two tiny fields over here that are mildly, I would say, important, not mildly, very important actually. So the first one is branch, and the second one is source directory. Now let me tell you more about both of these fields. So in the branch field over here, this is where you add which branch you want to deploy. So as you can see, if I go back to my repository, I've got two branches. I've got main and I've got cat. So main has just these two tags at the moment, just a heading 1 and a heading 2. Oh wait, I wasn't sharing the screen. Okay. Hope the GitHub screen is visible now. Right. So coming back to this repository, as you can see here, I've got two branches. I've got main and I've got cat. Now, if I head over to index.html within the main branch, I've just got two tags over here, heading 1 and heading 2. And if I go back and into the cat branch, and if I open index.html now, here I've got 3 tags. So this is the most recent one. This is the one that I'm making contributions to. But on production, ideally, the main branch is the one that you would want to deploy. So here's what I'm going to do, just for the sake of this demo. I'm not for the sake of this demo. This is what you should ideally do. So I'm just going to proceed with the main branch as my main branch. And, DishLotion does a great job at, showing you all the branches that you have. I've got main, I've got cat. I just want to continue with main. When we talk about source directory, now there is a concept of monorepos. So what happens in monorepos, you've got a combination of different services. So if, say, for example, if you're dealing with a full stack application and you're maintaining a monorepo, uh, oh my god, I wasn't sharing the right screen once again. I'm so sorry. Coming back to it, once again, DishLotion does a brilliant job at mentioning what different branches you have. Again, I select main. Coming back to source directory, yeah, monorepos, front end, back end, full stack application, all maintained within one repository. Say, for example, I just want to deploy the front end segment of my application using app platform. I can choose to add front end. So say, for example, if I go back to my GitHub repository, I'm not on the GitHub repository, not sharing the wrong screen. So if I have 2 folders within my repository called front end and back end, and I just want to deploy the contents inside the front end folder, I can choose to add a source directory here called front end. So now everything that's inside front end, those are the only things that are going to be deployed on DishLotion. That's it. So at the moment, I don't have any other directories that I would want to deploy. So I'm just going to remove this from here. Now, another tiny option that you see here that's super interesting is auto deploy. So every time an update is made to this branch, your application will be redeployed. This is basically continuous integration and continuous deployment just rolled into one tiny checkbox. What this basically means is whenever you add a new commit, whenever there's a new contribution, by contribution I mean what's there present in the code base, not issues or pull requests, but whenever there's a new code change in your repository, whenever there's a new commit, your repository will be auto deployed, which means that once you've deployed your website on DishLotion's app platform, you don't even have to come back to DishLotion, and all of this will be automated for you. That's it. So say, for example, you're participating in an MLH hackathon, you're building out your project, you're building out your first application, and your team is just getting started. It's been 12 hours in and you have the first rendition of your website ready. You can just connect your GitHub repository onto app platform and everything will continue to be auto deployed. So whenever someone on your team makes a new contribution or you make a new contribution, it will be updated automatically. So you don't have to keep on coming back to DishLotion to see, how things are, to just deploy. You can just head over to the link that's generated and that's it. That's all that you have to do. So now I guess we are ready to just click on next. And we're going to wait for a moment. Considering this is a static application, we don't have any environment variables as such. So over here, when we talk about resources, let's take a look at edit. So this is, all that we are using. We are using, we are using the static site, static assets, build pack, and that's all that we are doing. I'm not going to, tell you what's really happening under the hood. I would hate to make it overcomplicated for you. I'll keep it really beginner friendly. Don't touch any of it. Just let's let it be. Now back to environment variables. Considering that this is a static application, we don't have any environment variables that we would want to add. Ideally, when you're building out an application and you've got secrets, when I talk about secrets, those can be access tokens to a couple of things. Let's say, for example, if you're building something with Twilio, then you're going to need a token to pass within your application, and you cannot store it on GitHub as is. You need to protect it, you need to keep it in a separate .env file, right? So the .env file is not passed on to GitHub, so of course DishLotion won't know what environment variables you're using, or any other cloud service provider wouldn't know in a pass offering, what environment variables you're using. So you can just add, all of them here. You can add whatever key value pairs that you have, and you can also encrypt it. So since we don't have that, I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to click on next. Now for app info, I can just rename this app. I'm going to name it Global Hack Week Demo 2024. Click on save. Again, projects are a brilliant way for you to categorize, all the stuff that you're working on. What I used to do when I used to participate in hackathons, I would just create a new project for every hackathon that I would participate in, just so I could store a different set of services for every hackathon and scale them up, scale them down completely, turn them off, delete them, and it would be very easy using projects. So for this one, I'm just going to stick to DishNotion experiments, or maybe just DishNotion experiments. So I'm going to click on save, then next, and that should be it. The region that's auto selected for me is Bangalore, because that's the data center that's closest to me. We've also got global CDN and auto SSL. I think someone asked the question, why DishNotion app platform over other pass offerings, because global CDN and auto SSL are not a free edition, uh, you know, for pass offering. So at DO, you get it free of cost. Once again, the monthly app cost for this is just $0, because the first 3 starter apps that you deploy on DishNotion are free, absolutely free. So you don't have to pay a dime. Each additional startup app will just be charged for $3 a month. That's it. So now I'm just going to click on create resources, and I'm going to let DigitalOcean spin its magic. And while this builds, I would love to answer any questions that you folks may have. So first you flag the issue and then directly create a PR. That would be a brilliant way to go. So say for example, I absolutely love React, so I'm going to stick to React. Say for example, you're using React and you run into an issue. You can just open an issue stating this is what's happening, this is what should ideally happen, here's how to fix it, and you open an issue. Now a maintainer can put a fix, a maintainer can assign someone whatever they want to do. In the meantime, you can also start working on the issue if you know how to resolve the bug that you ran into, and then create a PR addressing the same issue, and that should be it. And then the maintainer can choose to either merge your issue, merge your pull request directly, or ask for more changes if there's anything else that's needed, and that would be it. Now, how long would the place be deployed for free? Can we use REST API for free with the free deployment? The first 3 starter applications are going to be free forever. Hope that helps. Can we use REST API for free with the free deployment? I think the answer is yes. I would hate to be wrong, but the answer is yes. Can we use it to deploy private repos too? Of course you can. You just need to connect your GitHub account, and that should be it. I am hosting my a lot of my personal projects that are not public on GitHub, and that's how it's working. So example scenario: what if I wanted to contribute a Java code to a particular repo? Dot a file in a file in repo, there are many folders inside one another. Wouldn't forking this repo need much space? Also, I don't need the other folders. I could not decipher your question the right way. Can you try to explain it once again, or let me give it another go? What if I wanted to contribute a Java code to a particular repo, a file in repo? There are many folders inside one another. Wouldn't forking this repo need much space? Also, I don't need the other folders. Okay, even if you don't need the other folders, you need to download, you need to clone a GitHub repo as is. I wish there was an option to download this one folder, because I know contributing to large code bases is a big headache. I completely empathize with you, but you need to clone the entire repo to make contributions. If there's just one file that you want to make contributions to, one jugaad of sorts that I would recommend, one hack, if you may. would be to just do what I did with the GitHub repository. Just click on the pencil icon when you open the specific file, add your contribution, commit it. So you don't have to, clone it. You don't have to download it onto your local workstation. And that's what you can do if you're trying to save space, if you don't have a lot of space to spare. That's one recommendation. So now that I don't see any other questions, and in the interest of time, let's check out what we've been able to achieve. So this is the URL, and I'm going to throw it onto the private chat once again for the MLS team to post. I unfortunately don't have access to the comment section. There's some bug with StreamYard. But yeah, this is what we've been able to deploy. It says cat directory. Actually, can I share my entire screen? Give me just a moment, and I'll share an entire tab, a window of sorts. Can I? Oops, doesn't seem like I can. So I'm going to go back to showcasing this. Give me just a moment while we try to bring the screen up once again. Stefan, would love to have you step in once again. So, are you able to edit the domain name? Yes, you can connect any domain of your liking, and that should work just fine.
Yes. So,
Then
Ishika, would you like me to add the GitHub back or the live demo on the slide?
GitHub back would be lovely. I
Sure.
would love to have my GitHub repo back. So
Great.
I guess I just need to switch around a bit. And I've also dropped a couple of links that, I would love to have you share in the comments. And for some reason, I'm not able to post any comments, which is very disheartening. But
Oh, okay. Let's see
yeah,
here. Yes, I'm happy to share some of those, and I will do that in the background.
lovely. So coming back to this, yeah, so now you have the GitHub repo in the comment section. If you want to add cat pictures, I've shown you how to make contributions. You just need to fork the repository. You need to edit the index.html file, add your images, and that would be it. You also see this URL called markdownguide.org. Someone asked about putting code snippets in. So, when you're creating documentation files on a GitHub repository or a GitLab repository, any repo for facts for that, you know, you would need to use Markdown to style them, make them more readable. So this is a great resource for you to learn basic Markdown syntax and create beautiful README documentations. If you are, an upcoming maintainer, you might want to, really learn Markdown. Apart from that, there's also another URL which is Global Hack Week Demo 2024 on dishlotion.app. That is the website that we've just deployed. That's the URL to the website we have deployed. And okay, with that, create a branch and check it out with git checkout B. Then git add file name. After you made and staged your changes, then commit and push. But yes, you do have to clone the entire repo. That's yeah, you just have to clone the entire repo. You don't have the option to, be selective about it. So that's that. Someone says, I made a PR in your repo. I'm actually super excited to see your PR. Let's take a look. I think it would be Anish. It says update index.html. Let's see what commits you've made. You have just made one commit, which is update index.html. The files you have changed. Oh my god, that's a lot of CSS. I hope there aren't any bugs. Okay, meet the cats. I love this. There are images too. Okay, I actually want to. Okay, I approve. I approve these changes. That's how you actually, as a maintainer, try to go about the whole thing. You click on files changed, and either you review changes. If there are any comments you want to make on specific things, you do that. You can either choose to approve or request changes too. So I just approved, all the changes proposed in this PR. So you can see that here, and I'm going to merge this pull request, confirm merge, and this is going to be updated within the main branch itself, right? So yeah, as you can see, here we are. And now I'm going to show you what's happening on DigitalOcean. So I talked about continuous integration, continuous deployment, how everything's going to get auto deployed the second there's a new code change, right? So this is what happened. I haven't clicked the thing. The um, commit, that the pull request that I just merged onto the repository automatically triggered a deployment. And now I can just head over to the URL once again, and this is what I see. So seems like the images are broken. So Anish, I think this is something you might want to look at. And this is absolutely lovely. Uh, okay, so we have got picture, we have got names of the cats, we have got breeds, and we have got a tiny description. Thank you so much for adding this. The website looks so pretty, much better than the earlier rendition. But yeah, that's how you get things done on app platform. In just a couple of clicks, you can just get all your contributions up and running. And any new questions? Can you please check my PR? I would absolutely love to. Let me go back, check your pull request. I guess it would be blank at GitHub. Okay, verified commits. So there is a merge conflict that we would want to resolve, because I just merged a pull request that was created simultaneously when you were pushing your commits. There is now a merge conflict because suddenly the commits that you have added are residing on the same lines as the pull request that was made before yours, that got merged before you. So this is something I would want to take a look at after the stream ends. Again, in the interest of time, I would want to keep it short. Any other questions that you folks may have, I would love to answer them. And in the meantime, I guess, Stefan, you can pull up the slides once again. So what if someone is working on the same issue as I am and his PR is accepted? How would I know will the code in my fork repo will be same as the OG repo? Again, just what we talked about a few seconds back. If you're working on the same issue as someone else and their PR is accepted, by accepted, I guess you want to say their PR is merged, then suddenly the code base that you have on your end, it won't match the one that's there. So there's going to be this thing called merge conflict, and feel free to read more about it. When there's a merge conflict, you manually need to sit down and resolve it, and you need to accept the best contributions from both. So that is how merge conflicts usually work. And how you would know is you would get a tiny error, the one that we saw just now on the most recent pull request by Crazy Blanky. So you are going to get an error that you need to resolve conflicts before you try to merge this. So again, this needs to be a tiny manual process. So yeah, will the code in my fork repo will be the same as the OG repo? Yes, till you you know pull those changes onto your repository, your fork repo will be the same as the OG repo. And unless you pull, you wouldn't get it. Okay. I never created PR on someone else's repo. I hope you would like it. I already love it, and thank you so much for making that contribution. Again, in the interest of time, I cannot sit and resolve those conflicts, but I'm definitely going to merge it. So please don't worry about it. Okay, thanks for answering. I will look into merge conflicts. Thank you for merging my PR. You can sync the main branch. Yeah, that's also one thing that you can do. You can choose to simultaneously sync the main branch, but if you have pushed additional commits, uh, then you might run into issues. So a very good habit that you should have is run git pull very frequently, and that should work. So with that, I guess we conclude the live demo, and coming back to the slides. the sky is really the limit to what you can do with DigitalOcean, pun intended. I hope you see it. So yeah, get started, build amazing applications, change the world, like thousands of developers who are doing so on DigitalOcean. And thank you so much for listening. I'm Aishika, and I absolutely loved talking to all of you, interacting with all of you, looking at your PRs, and telling you more about Hacktoberfest and DigitalOcean app platform. Should you have any questions around Hacktoberfest, please, reach out to us on our socials. It's Hacktoberfest everywhere, or feel free to contact us via email using support@hacktoberfest.com. You can find me on all the social media platforms using my first name Aishika, except for GitHub. Over there you need to add 2 extra letters SB, and that would be it. Any other questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me here, or you can also find me on the MLH Discord, or reach out to me on socials, whatever you deem fit. So I think I see 2 more questions. I think this was already asked. Can we deploy with private repos? Yes, you can. All you would need to do is connect your GitHub or GitLab account, and it will automatically fetch all your private repositories for you. So no, fret not. You can deploy your private repos with ease, just how you would with public repos. I find this session very informative. Will people be able to access this session's video recording? If I'm not wrong, these sessions are going to be around on Twitch and on MLH's Twitch and YouTube channels, so you can definitely give this a read. I'll pass on my slides to the MLH team so they can share it with you folks as well. And great session. Would love to attend another. Thank you so much. Highly appreciated. How can I make sure that I'm completing challenges for this Global Hack Week? I think this would be a brilliant question for MLH, but you should be able to see it on the dashboard if I'm not wrong. And another question, can we add our own repo to Hacktoberfest? Yes, you can, as long as you're following contribution guidelines by looking at hacktoberfest.com/participation. Yes, you can add your own repo. All that you have to do is add a topic label called Hacktoberfest to your repository, and that should be it. So I guess that should be it. Thank you so much once again. And it was absolutely lovely helping you folks know more about DigitalOcean app platform and Hacktoberfest. Over to you, Stephen.
Yeah, thank you so much for that session, Aishika. It was great to learn a little bit about pull requests and making contributions, something that's so intimidating to many members of our community, I know. So it's great for you to be able to break that down a little bit and give some individual feedback, which is so helpful for our community. So thank you. And yeah, please do share with our team, Aishika, any slides or materials that you'd like the hackers to get. We're happy to distribute those. I wanted to answer one question in that chat, which was about how you can see your challenges. There is a dashboard, challenges.mlh.io, or sorry, ghw.mlh.io. And there's a challenges dashboard, so you can check all of those, and you should get email updates on your progress. So that's just an answer from the MLH side. But yeah, it was a real pleasure to have you here. And hackers, please stick around. In just a few minutes, we're going to start the Today in Global Hack Week stream. So you'll get to know about all the different workshops that will be coming up next.
Once again, it was absolutely lovely hosting all of you, and I hope you all have a lot of fun participating in Hacktoberfest this year and all the years coming up. And have fun at Global Hack Week. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. All right, everyone. Take care.